All right, guys, we got a really good show for you. We have Benji Gosnell. He's committed to the Ohio State University in football. He goes to East Surrey High School. Thanks for coming on, man.
Yeah, no problem. Anytime.
Okay, so I want to talk about you're the youngest of 13 children. What's that like? I can imagine you guys had some pretty good pickup games over the years.
Yeah, we did. We had a lot of football games, a lot of basketball games. Our tradition over Thanksgiving was it was like 17 of us or 18 of us. We'd all split up, pick teams, and play a football game in our backyard. So that was the main tradition when we had a lot of people over. But yeah, it was. I kind of grew up tough. Like we not tough, but like we played tackle football in the backyard ever since we were like 7 to 10, things like that. We started football I started at 7. Most of my older brothers started like 8 to 11 or whatever like that. And I mean, you always had something to do, so that was really good about it. And it was fun. People might mention as like that might get crowd or whatever, but honestly, if I'd had anything different, I don't think I'd be where I am or how I am at all. But it definitely raises you to be, for one, it raises you to not get a big head or hot head because every time you do something good, you got a bunch of older brothers joking with you saying you're not good enough. So I kind of but I like that about them. So yeah, but it's definitely molded me into whatever I am today or whatever you want to view me as. But yeah, whatever you view me as, if it's positive or if it's positive at all, it's probably because of my older siblings and growing up in a big family.
Yeah, in my family, we have 12 cousins on the other side, and the games you can't beat them. I had
Oh
8
yeah.
soccer games where we always did. Um, but who's been like your biggest role model, and do you currently look up to like any former players or current right now?
Role model. The first. It's not like a well known name, but the first person I ever saw, which it's interesting. He's a tight end. Was Tyler Eifert.
Oh,
I
okay.
love. Yeah. He played in Notre Dame. I can't remember exactly what years. Maybe early 2010s, like 2011, 2012, something around there. But I would always look forward to watching Notre Dame play on Saturday. And I remember watching Tyler Eifert play. I'm like, dude, that dude's good. He's big. He can run. He can catch. He can block. And I'm like, he's good. He's versatile. And
Yeah.
then the next player that I saw, oddly enough, a tight end, Gronkowski. And seeing him and watching him play, that's just like, wow. So I would say Tyler Eifert is the first one. Then Gronk is like the one now and before. I've always loved watching Gronk. I'm kind of a Gronk bandwagon. So I was going for the Bucks last Sunday, but yeah, I'm definitely a big Gronk fan. I like watching George Kittle too. I watch a lot of like drill video he does and things like that. He's really good in how he plays and things like that. So yeah, those main 2 or 3 guys that I don't watch Tyler Eifert anymore. I think he's still with the Bengals. I don't keep
He's
up
with
with him that much, but
He's with
yeah,
Urban.
those are the main 2 or 3.
He's with Urban now.
He's with the who?
He's with Urban down in Jacksonville.
Oh, the Jaguars.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. Wow.
The reason I knew is
Yeah, I had no idea where he was.
I'm a Browns fan, right? And back when we were like 0-16, Tyler Eifert used to kill us with the Bengals. So I knew when he was leaving our division because it was a good day for us.
Yeah, I guess he's a good NFL player. I think he's had some injuries recently, but I haven't. I'll have to look him up after this. But
yeah. What's the best piece of football advice you think you've ever been given?
Best piece of football advice. I'm trying to think of any football advice I've ever been given. Best piece of football advice I've ever been given. I mean, I haven't really been given like some of these like quotes or whatever, like these "don't quit, never always work hard" junk. But I would say the best thing that's ever been instilled in me from football would have to be, and I'm not trying to, bust my own bubble here, but probably a work ethic. And I'm not saying like I'm Superman or anything. I work really hard. There's a lot of times where I wake up in the morning and I pull up press snooze, but I try to have the best work ethic I can. And I think a lot of that is from football, me playing ever since 7 and having a lot of really good coaches instill that type of drive and things like that in me. So it's not, I mean, I don't really think it's like a quote. If I think of one off the top of my head while we're talking, I might mention it, but that would probably be the best thing that's ever been instilled in me.
Yeah, for sure. I want to transition. So last year, your high school, you guys made a run to the state championship. You played on both sides of the ball. Talk about the experience of making the state championship and what being on both sides of the ball does for your game.
Yeah, we went to the state championship and we won. And it wasn't a new experience because we went my freshman year too. I was like a partial starter on defense that year. I got whooped because I was I was big old, I looked like a giraffe playing out there, just a big, tall, long stick. And but then the next year, my sophomore year, I was really hyped and pumped because I knew we were a lot better that year. Because the first time we got beat by that team 50-10, and then the next year we played the same team, and but I knew we were a lot better. I felt more confident going into the game because I was a lot bigger, a lot stronger, and I knew they were probably going to think we were a bunch of pipsqueaks anyway. Yeah. So I felt like we had the advantage because they didn't know what was coming. Playing both sides of the ball, I mean, it's something I've done ever since, like I said, since I played football. And I'm not saying I'm a really good athlete. I'm just saying, you know, when you develop things on offense and defense, I mean, that's helpful whenever it comes to high school and things like that. I had an older brother that's actually a receiver right now at Carolina. He developed me ever since I was in 7th grade. He took me out to the field and I just started doing the drills he taught me until I watched YouTube videos and learned on the drills and things like that. He developed me in type of receiver type thing. That's where the tight end kind of comes from. And then my body just kind of developed to where I could be a tight end. The defense aspect, I've always been the crazy dude that loves to fly around and hit people. Yeah. So I mean, I guess if we had someone better than me, they would have played him in front. But I mean, like I said, I'm not trying to say that I'm really good, but yeah, it's fun. I mean, it's not as tiring as people think. I wasn't really doing much on offense last year anyway because we had 3 receivers go to play for ACC schools, and I wasn't really wasting my breath on offense except when we were playing bad teams. That's when I got my yards. Yeah. But defense, I tried to fly around as much as possible because I love that.
Yeah, for sure. I was watching some of those highlights. Really good on both sides of the ball. I was actually not aware of this. I don't know if you know Tad Hudson. I'm friends with him.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm friends with Tad.
Where do you live?
What? I live in Dublin.
Where do you live?
I just kind of met people from doing this. I mean, I started a month ago, and we've been just meeting people and building connections with those guys. And
oh well, yeah, me and Tad are good friends.
Yeah. So, you know, he made me aware of it when I was talking to him this week. He said you guys are starting football in February in North Carolina.
Yep, that's what we're doing. We just had our, let's say Thursday. Today was our 4th official practice. We have a scrimmage next week.
Yeah, he was talking about like he didn't really feel like the playbook like was smaller. What's like the preseason goals? How do you go about like playing in the spring now, like with COVID?
I mean, we do kind of the same thing. I mean, our practices are run a lot. I mean, it's no different. Our practices aren't run any different. You know, we do individual and we go team, then we go, you know, whatever, and then we'll have something at the end. But same time and everything. It's just, I mean, it's a little different. Coaches have masks on. We have masks on, and the cold doesn't really bother us. Not really. Our weather's bipolar anyway down here in North Carolina. Tuesday was like 60 and today was like 35 and rainy. So, I mean, the season shortened. We have a 7-game season and 4-game total playoff round. So if we make it all the way again, like I'm hoping we do, we would play 11 total games. Yeah. So I think they took away 4 regular season games or something like that and a playoff round, something like that. Yeah. So the only real big difference is the and lack of fans, of course, lack of fans or shortage of fans, I should say, and shortened season.
Yeah, I was talking about actually getting down to a couple games this year. I feel like North Carolina doesn't get as much credit for high school football. What's it like to play down there?
It's really cool. There's a lot of little communities that are actually really good at football. And if they had played other like spotlight teams, it would be closer than people think. I'm going to give you an example. We played a team last year that like physically, if you had just watched the line of scrimmage and the linebackers on their offense, like their offensive line, our defensive line, and our linebackers, you would have think they beat us by like 25.
Yeah.
Like they were physical, they were really well coached and everything like that. But I mean, we just had to be. I think we stopped them like once or twice, and we ended up getting a lead because they didn't. Like I said, we had really good receivers, but I mean, that team would have beat like all these flashy Florida IMG teams to the ground.
Yeah.
Like they would have just completely like whooped them, in my opinion. But it's there's a lot of tight knit communities and towns and things like that.
Yeah.
Like the team we beat last year in the state championship, we had snapped their 44. That team had the longest winning streak I think it was the longest active winning streak in high school football. They had like 44 in a row.
Yeah.
And we also beat a team in the regular season that had a 39 game winning streak. Yeah. And like they hadn't lost at home. We beat them at home. We beat them at their place, and they hadn't lost at home since like 2015. So it's really, you don't know what to expect really when you're playing some different. Like we play North Davidson this year, and we never played them before, so we don't know what to expect. Obviously from film and things like that, but we don't know. You don't know what they're going to do. You know, it's you know, a lot. If you go down to Florida, you'll probably see some athletes. You'll probably see people try to throw the ball 85, 90 times a game, yeah. And you'll probably see fights. I don't know, but no, down here it's fun. You play physical, you play fast, and I mean, in a regular year, I live in a town of like 1,300 people, and I bet restaurants are I bet those waiters don't get any tips that night because everybody's at the football games watching it.
Yeah, for sure. I feel like I've been watching a lot of tape just on North Carolina guys in Ohio. We play really similar styles, and we have the same type of community feels. So that's why I was talking about that. Okay, I'm a big Ohio State fan. I had to bring it up. I'm wearing the shirt. Got the alumni shirt on. So what made you commit to Ohio State, and talk about that relationship with Kevin Wilson?
Yeah, Coach Wilson's a really good dude. He's a really great coach for one. Mm-hmm. He's a really great person. I love talking to him, love texting with him and things like that, cracking jokes. And he just seemed like the type of dude. He is the type of dude that I know I want to spend, you know, as much as my college career with, and however long that may be. But he's a really good coach. He's stable. He knows what he's talking about. He knows how to joke and things like that, but he knows when to take things seriously. An example, Jeremy Ruckert. I mean, that dude came in kind of like, I'm going to come in kind of like him. He was a really good pass catching tight end, pretty big dude too. But he's like one of the most versatile tight ends in the country, if not the most. Dude can run, dude can catch like crazy, and dude will lay out defensive ends. Seeing all that, that's just like I really wanted to be developed as a complete player. I don't want to be like a Kyle Pitts that is the Calvin Johnson. He's a tall receiver and the heavier one. But yeah, I mean, and then Coach Day, obviously cool dude. All their coaches are really cool. Yeah. And I've never honestly been to Ohio State on the campus or anything like that, but I knew from the people that I knew, and I don't really care how it looks or anything like that. I knew that I wanted to be around, and knew I wanted to be coached by those people.
Yeah, I live like 20 minutes from campus. I've met Urban a few times. My mom's friend with Shelly, cool. So and then I kind of met Ryan once. Those guys are all awesome guys when I met.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. Big Buckeye fan. I'm actually talking to Zen. He's a O-line commit.
Zen.
He's
for our class.
Yeah, and no, he's in your 20. He's in 2021. And then do you know Keon Graves? I talked to him.
So he's already enrolled. Yeah,
he's already enrolled there. I'm talking
Keon Graves.
Yeah,
he's in our. I think no Keon. I think is a 22 guy.
Yeah,
because he's in our 20. I've seen him. We don't have he's not in our commits group chat because he's not committed. But we have like a group chat of people. We have a group chat of people that like they're trying to recruit, and he's in it. So I know who you're talking about, but I don't really know him or anything like that.
So you'll find this interesting. I've been talking to him. I talked to him last week, and then I was texting him. He said, so this is what he told me. He said last week he's coming February 26th to OSU. He's going to visit the campus, and he said, after his visit, he's probably going to sign it. He's pretty much a crystal ball. I mean, he pretty much came on and talked to me and said, pretty much without saying he's committed, that he was coming. You know what I mean?
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
So that's
awesome. Yeah. I hadn't seen any tape on him, but I don't think they'd be recruiting him if he wasn't that good. So I think he's pretty good.
Yeah, he's a good guy. What are you most looking forward about playing in the shoe? You haven't been here, but
Most looking forward to. I hadn't really thought about that. I guess just the idea of playing at the next level is awesome. I mean, I guess I also kind of like want to see what it feels like to hear all the noise. I'm sure we'll be back to normal here in next year or so or whatever. But I'm wanting to I want to see what it feels like, and I can't wait to see what it feels like to just catch a touchdown or make some kind of play and hear the crowd like that roar and things like that. Hopefully, I can make one against the team up north, and that would be even sicker. But if sicker's a word. But yeah, I think those two are things. I just want to play. I mean, at the next level and things like that. That's sick, and probably the packed crowd.
Yeah, you'll feel the ground shake when you catch touchdown. And, the best thing Michigan ever did was give us a few more years to beat up old Jim Harbaugh. That's what they did for us. Couple final two things. What do you like to do off the field?
Train. I really don't have any hobbies, man. I mean, do I have any hobbies? Usually when I'm bored, I go to the gym.
Yeah.
Let's see. What do I like to do? I like to shoot guns.
Yeah.
I don't really hunt, but I like shooting guns. I like to fish. I don't do it that often. But I like to fish. I want to give you a perspective. I want to when I retire, I want to retire in Montana on a huge ranch because it's a cold Texas, and I like the cold. So I want to be like a country boy, say to whatever. But yeah, I want to do all those things when I grow up. I want to grow up and live on a lot of land and things like that. So if that gives, that's what I want to do. And if I had the time to do stuff like that now, I would. But honestly, now today I was bored before practice, so I went and got in a 30-minute explosive workout or whatever. But my hobbies right now are train.
I respect that 100%. I love going hunting and fishing, so I get your vibe on that. We always ask.
Yeah.
This might be the hardest question, but how do you want people to remember Benji Gosnell when your football career is over?
Oh man, good question. When my football, okay, so how do I want them to view my football career when my football career is over, or just?
It's kind of like this question's like I feel like when you have your football player, you give people a voice and people, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like it goes both ways, really.
Okay, yeah, I see what you're saying. I can't. I shouldn't do that. Okay, so I kind of want people to. I mean, I really don't care what people think, but if someone were to view me and if you were to say Benji Gosnell, and I'd hope the first thing to come to mind would just be chill.
Yeah.
I don't want to be the dude that posts all this junk on social media or whatever and things like that. No. I mean, if I have the platform, I want to help people and things like that. My ultimate goal is one of the biggest things on my bucket list. I have 3 things, and they're huge goals. Is perhaps win a Walter Payton Award. Yeah. Because I've always felt if you're going to be paid millions and millions of dollars just to play a football, you don't need all that. Yeah. I mean, things like that. So I guess that's kind of how, if I wanted anyone to view me anything like that, it would kind of be that, just helpful.
Yeah, for sure. I respect that a lot. Benji, thanks for coming on, man.
Yeah, no problem. Anytime.